Right, well, back everyone. We are now going to enter into public excluded. Do I have a mover, please, to enter? Thank you, councillor Maynard.
No.
Speak of that.
Sure,
I am wondering why.
because the information included in the report has not yet been shared with the organisations that the report is about.
Wouldn't it not only be shared?
Reason for excluding the public.
It would only be shared with them once the decision's made.
It would go public once the decision's been made.
Yes, yeah, so the process is make the decision, share the information.
We make other decisions in the public, and the money factor is already public knowledge.
This is no different to, whilst I agree that the money bit's already been sorted, but this is no different to any other tender you would do behind closed doors. You have an option in front of you, a recommendation from staff, but the decision hasn't yet been made.
Was it actually a tender or was it an expression of interest?
Expression of interest because you'd already determined that you wanted to go ahead with the service. But we did not want the, as with any negotiation for service, it doesn't go into the public until you've debated it.
So what are the actual legalities about going public excluded on this? I'm sorry, I'm with you there. I'm not quite sure why, just because somebody put in an application for grant funding, which is a public, we've talked about it in the public. Why are people who have put the application of why are we saying, oh, we're going to exclude you? That's not, it's a public process we've gone through here. I'm not quite sure. The only reason I would suggest that we would go into this is there is one person's employment that may well be hanging the outcome of this of an organisation that has put in a tender process or put in an application. I'm not sure that that's actually grounds for publicly excluded, because what we're going to be talking about here is very much in the public interest.
The reason for the plain English reason for going into public excluded is because the tender information, which is sensitive to ongoing negotiations for the sports and recreation services.
Why is it sensitive? Why is it sensitive?
Because
The amount of money that was allocated to it.
It's 2 years. Sorry, there's no negotiation. That's it. That's it, and that's already in the public domain.
yes, the sensitive, as you pointed out, is that there is a tender, there is a entity in a temporary place, and how that now watches up with this debate. I don't know that I'd want to hear an outcome for a council debate. I'm sure that as an employee, I'd want to have a moment to be given that information one way or the other.
I also would say that we have already said to that entity, that employee, funding you to the end of this process. So that organisation knows that there is an end date to the council money going to the organisation already. So it's really important that the public understands why we will make a decision on what we're making this decision, because there's
A reminder that all of this would get released once the decision
the
had been.
conversation won't be released though, and I think the public deserve to hear the conversation, because this is quite it is a very topical issue. So
Let's put it to a vote, because that is the whole process of moving a recommendation. And
I'm moving that we move into.
so
Okay.
councillor
Yeah.
Maynard has moved it. Councillor Olds was seconding the recommendation. The reason, the general subject discussed is South Wairarapa Sports and Recreation Service. The reason for passing this resolution is in relation to the withholding of information being necessary to enable council to carry out without prejudice or disadvantage commercial activities. And as I mentioned, the plain English reason is it relates to tender information, which is sensitive to ongoing negotiations for the sports and recreation service. So all those in favour, please say aye and put your hand up. All those against, no. Great. I vote in favour of going into public excluded. I think that's the right way. Like that. Oh, sorry. Violet. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, which way did you vote?
So we've got four voting
So it's 5,
public excluded
2, 3.
and 4 voting for it being open forum. Which one would you prefer, Violet? Are you wanting it to be public excluded?
Public excluded. Yes, so sorry, it was actually 5 for, because I didn't realise that Violet for online. So we are moving into public excluded. That is, you're not the live stream.